Joan Lunden, I loved the book, so easy to read. But one of the first things I found very interesting about you is you don't like birthdays.
And in our society, we are so tied to an age. And I think that age can sometimes be incredibly limiting. And it can make a woman, especially because we aren't allowed to age as much as men are, to say, oh, no, I'm 52, so I'm not as appealing, not as sexy, so therefore I'm not as relevant. And you can go down that path. And that's really the impetus for the book.
I know this is written for women, or at least kind of aimed toward women, but I feel like every man should read this book so they're
I know.
understanding what their wives are going through.
I have had a number of men write to me, people that I know, pretty much some husbands of women that I know that I don't really know the husband, and a few men on Facebook, and they all said, my wife got your book, and when she finished it, she said I should read it. I did. I feel like I understand and know my wife so much better now.
One of the chapters in your book talks about the dangers, the health concerns about social isolation and loneliness. And Joan, this is an interesting time we're living in where everybody's told to quarantine and we can't visit our grandparents or parents in the nursing home. That must concern you.
Well, I think we all know that it's probably not good being alone, but when you learn from the experts that isolation and aging, isolation has as big a negative impact on your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. All of a sudden, like when I would learn these things, I'd say, wow, I mean, I have to share this.
You talk about the importance of getting sleep. 20 years on a morning show, Joan, and then not one, but two sets of twins back to back. Have you ever recovered from the loss of sleep?
I don't think so, but those little twins are now all in high school. I have two 15-year-olds and two 17-year-olds. So now you have to stay up late at night, to, like bring them all back into the corral. But sleep has always been my nemesis, from the time I started television. And I always knew that you should get more sleep, but not until I really started talking to sleep experts so I could make sure that I had the latest information. Did I actually understand just how important it is? The reason why I came to making the title of the book, Why Did I Come Into This Room? Is because I think that's the one thing that worries people the most, that they're starting to lose it. And that is not, it's usually not the case. It's not the beginning necessarily of dementia or Alzheimer's. It's just part of aging. And I think there's comfort in knowing that, so you don't freak out every time you walk out of the mall and can't remember where you parked your car.
There is a quote in the book of something your husband said to you after you lost your job at GMA, and it really just stuck with me.
A bend in the road is not the end of the road as long as you remember to make the turn. As long as you, and when I left GMA, I remember my attorney said to me something smart also. Your biggest challenge is going forward is knowing what to say no to. I do commencement speeches a lot at colleges, and I always say you got to figure out your brand and what you stand for and what you can bring to the world and how you can make your mark on the world. And in this day and age, you guys can all do that. I also tell them to go on their Facebook page and erase all and delete all the pictures of all the parties.
If they ever want to be hired someday.
Yes, if you want to get hired, that's my first tip.
Again, the book is called Why Did I Just Walk Into This Room? Joan Lunden, I appreciate your time, and this has just been such a pleasure to get to know you more. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Bye-bye.